Yeah, man, I got that post-election glow, man. Oh, oh yeah, that post-election glow, man. I'm supposed to have. I got that post-election glow. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button, man. We going in tonight, man. I'm seeing a lot of things that are kind of like got me a little worried, man. I know everybody's happy, and I know I hate to be a buzzkill, man. And I'm not going to be a buzzkill in the manner of dissing Trump or whining about stuff that Trump doing or things that we know he's going to do. I'm not buzzkilling like that, but I think the the Republican Party, the conservatives, we off to a shaky start, man. We're off to a shaky start, man. We're off to a shaky start, man. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing, like I was traveling all week. So I was in Ann Arbor. I was in a college town, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Okay. I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And great town, man. Great town. Ann Arbor, Michigan is a great town. Fine town, fine people, man. And there were no protests. There were nothing like that. But I was talking to one guy. I think he was some kind of Indian, some kind of. I couldn't even tell what he was. He owned a shop, and I went into his shop to get a couple hoagies and stuff because my cousin he lives in Detroit, so he came by the hotel in Ann Arbor to see me, and we went to the little sub shop they got on downtown Ann Arbor. Um, making small talk with the guy behind the counter, and I just shooting the breeze with him talking about the election. He was like, "Shh, don't say that. I have to live here, man. You're gonna get me in trouble because he voted for Trump." And I'm loud. You know what I'm saying? I'm a son, man. I'm kind of loud. So I was talking a little too loud, and there were customers in there, other customers in there, and I was, just talking about, yeah, man, Trump, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, shh, don't say that. And that's still the tenor of a lot of conservatives, especially the new conservatives, the blacks, and all the progressives that voted for Trump on the low. Everybody's scared to admit that they like Trump. Press one on that. Press one on that. If you really are seeing that, everyone's trying to say, "Oh, I voted for him because of the economy," but none of them actually have said that they like Trump. Everyone's scared to just admit that they like Trump because they know that that will piss off progressives. You can tell progressives, yeah, I voted for Trump because bread is $7 a loaf, or you know you can't even DoorDash anymore because it's so expensive. But you better not tell them liberals that you like Trump, that you actually I fuck with Trump. I like Trump. You better not tell them that because you in deep trouble. And to me, that's a I gotta give another reason why I voted for him. Oh, okay. So when I switch screens, y'all can't see me. Okay, I got it. I switched to another screen. So when I switch screens, StreamYard cuts off. Okay. I gotta be careful about that now. It wasn't that I froze, it was that I switched screen. See, on this, when you use an Android and StreamYard, you can't share your screen. So that's why I'm using the big TV behind me from the Airbnb to play any videos I'm gonna play tonight. Any videos I'm gonna play tonight gonna be played on that big screen right there. But yeah, I didn't freeze. I didn't freeze. But keep me posted on the stream because I'm at the Airbnb and things kind of shaky here at this Airbnb. Um, but yeah, I'm already concerned, man. And it's not even just the new progressives that are scared to say they like Trump. It's a lot of veteran progressives, a lot of old progressives. I don't think you've made any. This whole pro-Trump movement has made any ground until people can openly say they like Trump. And I'm gonna drop the link because I want to know what you guys think about that. Let me just drop the link now, man. Um, Let me just drop the link now. And mods, can you share the link for me? Because I don't want to switch screens. I don't want to switch screens. We got a lot of people on Rumble too. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble, press one, man. Because I don't want to switch screens, man. I can still see your screen with your Rumble. Um, yeah. Yeah, I'm. I was out of town, man. I was traveling, man. I was traveling, man, with the family, man. It's good to travel though, because you get to see a lot of different places. You know, I'd never been to Michigan before, so that was a great experience to be in Michigan, man. Michigan got some fine people. They big time Detroit Lions fans, man. They love their Lions, man. They love their Lions up there, man. Good people, man. Good people. And I was on a college campus full of fucking liberals and shit. They weren't annoying though. They weren't annoying. How do I do this? Add the stage. Okay. What's happening, guys? How's everything?
Yo, what's the word?
What's crack?
Cracking. Ain't nothing, man. Hanging in there, man. Just back in effect, man. Back in. I was staying in a hotel the last 5 days, man. So couldn't really do much.
Dang,
Back in.
man. Needed your commentary, man, on the recent happenings, man.
Yeah, man. I know, man. I'm telling you, man. I wanted to be there, but you know what? I feel like maybe that was the reason I needed because the perspective I'm coming with right now is that I'm concerned, man. I feel like conservatives are still the weaker party as far as in the public sphere. I
Yeah,
feel like as, as a conservative, if you say you voted for Trump, you got to give 1,000 reasons other than, man, I like Trump and I fuck with him and I like the shit he be saying. That's why I voted for him. You got
Yep.
to say 1,000 different reasons other than that just to be able to say you voted for Trump.
yo, yo, that's a whole thing. I,
Hey, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I be fucking with CT channel and shit. Man, we was there on election night. These niggas was up there talking about I voted for Kamami uh because I didn't vote for Trump because I was voting against hate. I was like, man, what the hell is that?
Well, I'm
Like they
not even
don't.
really talking
Yeah,
command
that's some
voter.
gay shit.
Yeah,
I mean, like this, to me, any man who voted for Kabamala is just, like there's really nothing that you can really do about him, man. Any man that voted for Kabamala is a
Yeah,
lost cause.
it's over with. It's over with. Hey, but I got a
But
counter. I got a counter argument on that one. I feel like you know, ever since like he won, like what I'm saying, a popular vote and really like fucked her up. A lot of black men are more open to just saying like, yeah, I fuck with Trump. You know what I'm saying? But
but
the
they're not
ones that
saying they fuck with Trump. They're saying because of the economy or because of this or because of that or because of
oh,
what I'm saying.
you're saying they're required to come with like what I'm saying, reasons versus the other side just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be like that for a while, bro. It's
yep.
gonna be like
No, when you as a person, when you say I voted for Trump or I rock with Trump, you can't just say yo I rock with Trump because niggas are gonna ask you like what you mean you rock with Trump like that's always gonna be a follow up question, bro. So
But
that's
here's my thing too. But think about this, right? How many times over the last few days have you heard some pundit or some YouTuber or somebody on a TikTok or something just openly say Trump's a piece of crap, basically, like dog Trump, and the conservative across from him will just sit there and won't say anything about that. They'll never check them on. Wait a second, hold on. You just called Trump a Nazi. You just called him Hitler. You just said he was a demon. You just said he was the worst person in the world. You just said he was a racist. You just said he doesn't like black people. Like, for instance, like if well, let's just how many times have you seen this? The liberal pundit or the liberal person talking says, well, why are you voting for Trump when he doesn't like you? And then the conservative says, well, I don't care if he doesn't like me. And it's like, what?
They do say that a lot.
Why
Be
is you
like, I don't
that?
care if he doesn't
Why
like
is you
me. Like, who gives a fuck what you like? You're never asked like, did Barack Obama like you, or did fucking even Kamami like you? The fact that they always got to say some shit like that does piss me off. Or be
Yeah.
like, or they do
but
the
why does that go
or the
unchecked though?
what's the whole
But why
shit?
does it go unchecked?
Yeah, what's the whole shit they say? The lesser of both evils and shit. Like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like, it ain't no lesser of both evils. One is like based on like family values and Christian values, and the other want to fucking have abortions at fucking limitless amounts. Like, they're literally just talking about killing babies. Literally, that's it. That's their whole thing.
But even the babies they don't kill, they want to change their sex. But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. But what I'm saying is about why does a conservative not say, wait a second, stop right there. You said he doesn't like me. What makes you think he doesn't like me? That's what I'm saying. Like they'll never say, they'll just eat that. Like, yeah, so Trump's a Nazi and he wants to take all black people's rights. Why'd you vote for him? Well, I voted for him because of the economy. Why not just say, hold on, wait a second, what the fuck did you just say? You just said he don't like me, he want to take all my rights? The fuck? Let's talk about that. When the fuck what the fuck are you talking about? Conservatives ain't there yet. They still not there yet. They still eating a lot of shit from the
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. You gotta like when these conversations are had. I know exactly what you mean. It's like the liberal. They basically they lay out the whole groundwork that you have to and all the rules you have to and all the
Right.
premises you have to start by.
Yeah,
You have
he's a Nazi. He hates black people, and he says all these racist things, and he campaigned on a racist platform.
Yep.
But why did you vote? Well, I
Yeah.
mean, because bread is $7. Nah, motherfucker. You basically telling this liberal that yeah, I agree with everything you said, but bread is $7.
Yeah, that's so true, man. Like the premises not you have to, but the premises that they just I think it's so subconscious that they just accept these things without challenging like hard every last one of these talking points that get thrown out whenever Trump's name gets mentioned. Is fascinating to hear because I hear the exact same thing you talk about you were just talking about.
But here's the thing, though. Oh, that right there, that's power. That's power. If he just won the popular vote, you shouldn't be afraid to let people know you voted for Trump. You shouldn't be afraid to say, "Wait a second, what you mean he's racist?" I've never heard him say anything racist. I've been seeing him for I'm 40 years old. He's been around my whole life. What racism is you talking about? I didn't see nothing racist. And it's like brothers can't really say that, and white voters definitely can't say that either. But you would at least think that brothers could say that, but brothers are scared to say that. Brothers are scared of blue-haired liberals just as much as white people are, and it's like we're still scared of the blue-haired, glasses-wearing fucking liberal with goddamn, you know what I'm saying, low testosterone. We're still scared of that guy in the public sphere. We're still scared. And make sure y'all hit the like button. Support the channel, man. We've been going for 5 days. We back in effect with a mask and a tech. We got one person took the $5 challenge. Did you
Yeah,
miss the channel? Salute to Pamela Henderson, man. Salute to Far From Handsome. Shout out to you, Far From Handsome. First person to take the $5 challenge. Everyone else is sitting on the wall, man. Go ahead, brother.
yo. So, did y'all comment? Did you comment on? Did you see that shit when on CNN when Buddy flipped out on the black dude about the trans shit and all this other shit.
Yeah, like let me see if I can play that right quick.
Cause like, yeah, you can play it and I comment later. Go ahead.
Let me see, cause I gotta where what? Let me see. I saw it online. Let me see if I saw it online. I gotta see if I can pull it up. Um, yeah, but yeah, the whole thing about the trans thing too though is like that's such a crazy thing, and they've gone so far with that that it's like when you think about the backlash coming now, it's like, well, God damn, how did they get this far with this? Because there is a backlash right now, but it's still like, damn, they really won though. There's no way they should have made this much ground with that transition. That shit is crazy. Let me see if they got it over here, man. But I've been against that the whole time. I've been against that trans shit the entire time, man. Um, I've been against that the entire time. I've never. I might have to play it on my phone. I might have to play it on my phone. Let me see if I can play it on my phone. Yeah. And then you just tell me when to stop. That'd probably be easier, man. Because I know I can find it on. I know I can find it shit on X. Here we go. All right, let me play it. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can switch to a bigger album, bigger pause. Let me see if I can switch to. Let me see how that works. Uh, oh, okay. I think they came back. Who who is T McRoy, man? T McRoy,
What up?
T.R. McCoy.
Hey,
How are you? McKay, what's up?
hey, what up, Aunt? I've been on your panel a couple times.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Let me
welcome back, man. Streets needed you.
okay.
Glad you're back.
Yeah, he said the street Steve. All right, here we go. There we go. That's how I'm gonna do it. All right, let me play this shit. Let me play this crazy fucking little. I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports. They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at the table. I'm not going to call a trans girl a boy. I'm not going to. When you use the words as a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. Change. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there. Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And first of all, man, that dude, like this whole cutting people off and not letting people speak, that's a power play. That's a power move. They do that all the time. Just shutting you down. Like soon as you say two words, you can't allow that. How long do you allow that from beta males and dumb black chicks that would get their tracks pull out at the root if they stood at a bus stop in the inner city for 2 minutes? Sure, Michael.
You gotta
How do you
insult
allow
them.
that to happen?
You gotta insult them. You gotta call them soft to their face. You just gotta.
Yeah,
You
you
tell them. You
gotta
gotta
be
tell them
strong,
exactly.
right?
Well, you just gotta let them know. Hey, I see what you're doing, and you're weak. You know, you are the weaker of the two. And then they're gonna say, well, you're being hateful, but I'm not wrong. But I mean, it's always good because ideally they would rather have a black woman to be in there playing that power play, cutting them off and shit. but no, they had some pedo glasses wearing freak, and he's the one doing it. So you know, what I'm saying it. The optics doesn't look. It's going to be annoying to anybody watching, and we want to hear what the black man got to say, especially because we want to hear what the base black man got to say. But instead of having some she boom black chick shouting him down, it's some Jewish glasses wearing Epstein person. So it's like the dam's gonna break. It's like they can't do this forever.
Here's the thing,
But I
though.
do think that
Here's the thing, though, bro. That white guy would bow down to any black male conservative. If that was Van Jones, he wouldn't talk to Van Jones like that. He wouldn't talk to Roland Martin like that. He would take the subservient position around a black liberal or any black Angela Rye, any black liberal has the as black conservative perspective said he has to have more infinity stones, of wokeness. So the black guy or the black woman different views on this. Hold on. The black woman would have the black man or the black woman would have more respect. But once you're conservative, he can talk to you basically like you're a neo-Nazi. That white liberal can talk to you any kind of way if you're a black conservative.
Yeah, he
We
could.
gotta get into where we still got infinity stones, man. We still black. You still gotta kiss our ass.
not really, not really. When you're, they've made it pretty clear. Like when you're a black man and you're a Trump, you'll have a white person saying, "How could you do that to your people?"
Yeah,
White people literally think they're literally comfortable enough saying, "You voted against your own interests."
yeah, yeah. As
It's
a black
crazy.
conservative, a white liberal can tell you like you're a bootlicker, you're an Uncle Tom. They can say you hate yourself, um, you a sellout. They can use all the same the insults that that blacks do.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Let me play the rest of the video, man. Fact for Jay. I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports. They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to them call a trans girl a boy. You don't allow me to finish my explanation. When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there. Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Michael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful. Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here. I don't. No, it's okay. You are not being. But I am. But it's okay. I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic. He should know that I'm not. He wants to. I'm not calling you transphobic. I'm saying you're using a phrase that you know. I think you're okay. I gotta give that brother a little credit, man. He did kind of stand up for himself a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I gotta give that brother a little credit. He got a pair. He kind of pushed back a little bit, but still, it's like you got this fucking I don't even know what to call that dude. This fucking goddamn animated.
Epstein,
Yeah.
the Epstein client list, man. I'm telling you. I mean, he's just one of them dudes that's like an obvious an obvious pedophile, and he's got a and he's gonna suicide bomb. He's gonna watch
Right.
it.
He's like yelling at you. You got this fucking pansy just yelling at you on fucking national TV, telling you what you can't say and what you can say. It's fucking weird pansy. Like, and it's just like, yo, like what? We gotta get to the point where like it's like, oh nah, man, you're a fucking weirdo. You wanna you're like you're cool with watching fucking kids do drag fucking routines and dance and drag dance routines. You're fucking cool with kids chopping their fucking body parts off. No, you're the fucking person that gets talked to, that gets shouted down. You're the person that gets fucking humiliated on TV. You're the person that gets canceled, not me for for just calling the fucking person a boy. It's still a power imbalance, man. It still is, man. We still are in a power imbalance, man.
But AI. That's one thing that I was thinking about though, because when you really do get on that other side of being, because it doesn't really matter. It's like the whole MAGA thing. Just being MAGA, it pretty much means you're on the side of righteousness. And it's like, and the other people, they're on the side, they're literally on the side of power, and power is Satan. So it's like they are going to do every and
A lot of
anything and
families out
say the
there.
worst kind of things. And when the pendulum is on our side, on the righteous side, no matter what, it's almost like we have to rise above, or we are expected to rise above, because that's the only way that the whole world sees, you know, who is on the right side of things. So it's like we can stoop to their level, but at the end of the day, it's not about stooping to our level. It's about, you know, uh, man, I'm as far as I'm concerned, I'm almost at the point where I'm like, nah, yeah, yeah, no, I elected the Nazi. Yeah, it's misogyny. I heard a lady on CNN say it's institutionalized misogyny. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll take that.
Yeah, but
But
the thing is, conceding that is still a victory for them. Allowing them to being like, yeah, I voted for a racist because bread is $10 a loaf. Nah, motherfucker,
yeah,
I didn't vote for a racist. I don't think he's a fucking racist. You fucking pansy. You fucking weirdo. And watch your fucking mouth, weirdo.
right.
Like you're a whole fucking weirdo. You're fucking. You would never talk to any fucking
See,
man like that. When you're on the train and I get on the train, your fucking heart skips a beat. When you're on the fucking when you're fucking walking down the street to your car after a night out at a gay bar, and I fucking walking down the other way towards you, you're fucking hoping that I don't fucking clock you upside the head and take your wallet. Yet you're on fucking CNN yelling at me and shit. Fuck you,
Exactly,
faggot.
dog. Exactly, dog. That's why I was saying like the whole shit with I just want a motherfucker to get on TV and just be like, who the fuck is you? Like, who are you talking to? And literally break it down the same way that you just broke it down. Like, bruh, if you saw me on the street, it's no way in fucking hell. That's that whole shit how motherfuckers be tough with the police and shit like that because they just know that you're not gonna do anything. But then
Yeah.
they play the role of like, we're scared of the police. Name another black motherfucker that's 6'3", 240 pounds with a fucking gun on their hip that you would talk to like that, other than a motherfucking uniform.
With a vest and a gun.
Right. Name, would you really talk to me that way if I was just on the street, 6'3", 6'4", 240, with a motherfucking gun in a vest? Would you call me a bitch and take that? Hey, beat your motherfucking ass. Would you really talk that way?
Hell no.
Come on, bro.
Wouldn't even make eye contact with your ass. Man. But listen, man. This is what I'm seeing, and seeing this is alarming because he won. It's like he won the popular vote. It was a mandate. Then why are y'all scared?
Why I still scared?
Exactly. Why y'all scared, bro? Like this should have been like the motherfucking door should have opened and it should have been like we don't have to go through the back door no more. These motherfuckers still pussy, G.
Yeah, and it's weirdo, and it's not like these are like bikers for Kamala or Hell's Angel for Kamala or Crips and Bloods for Kamalas. It's fucking weirdos that we're scared of.
Yeah. But man, these weirdos, they're losing their power. They're losing that privilege. They literally have. I remember there was this one, because I clip videos from here all the time, and there was this one. Anytime I'm arguing with people on Facebook, I'll just throw something on there. And there was a time where you're on your monologue. You were talking about how you know gay people, they're in your face browbeating people and saying, "Oh, what this is wrong and this is wrong and the way that you're doing this is wrong and that's racism and this." And meanwhile, they fucking just blew somebody in the parking lot and shit. You know,
Right,
these motherfuckers, these people, these degenerates, who are like having sex like maybe about 50 times a week, and
right.
they're over here talking about morality. This is like exactly the opposite
Unchecked
of what
though,
should be given.
unchecked,
Yeah,
completely unchecked,
yeah,
not checked at all. Just talking about morality and talking about how bad. That's what I'm saying. Like Trump is a terrible person. He's just that and the third. And this guy who just said that has had 60 stranger sex partners in the last month. Strangers.
crazy, crazy, crazy,
And
crazy.
it's like, who you calling a terrible person? Or it's some chick who's had 15 abortions. It's just like Trump's a terrible person. And it's like, wait a second, why do we have to just eat that? Why can't we say no? I don't think he's a terrible person. What has he
What
done?
and like why do y'all feel like motherfuckers just like even like Scott Jennings on CNN, like he got some, you know what I'm saying? He got some like rebuttal for like they bullshit, but he don't rebuttal all the time. Like
Nah.
everything that they say is literally like bullshit and rebuttable. Like it's just like it's such a lie, majority of the shit that they say. And he just nods his head like, yeah, knowing that
You
he
know
can say
what though?
something. Why don't he say anything?
He Scott Jennings, I will give him this. He's a white man and he got a different he live a different reality than the black brothers that's on there. As a white man, like he gotta be careful. They just kicked the white dude off. They just banned the white dude last week from CNN because he made a joke about the pagers blowing up on the Muslims and stuff. So it's like I think Scott Jennings has done a great job as far as um like a white guy. Because one thing about white people, they don't need all the exuberance and all the like. If you go to a white church, you ever been to a white church?
I,
I
I
can't
only go to
say.
I only go to white church.
Yeah, I
Okay, a
can't say.
white church.
They
Listen,
finish on
there's no
time.
hooting
They
and
finish it.
hollering. There's no hooting and hollering. There's no catching the Holy Ghost. There's no dancing when you get the Spirit. There's no there's
Niggas
none of that.
trembling and collapsing and shit.
Yeah, there's none of that. They're different. They're more reserved and shit like that, right? So like Scott Jennings, his stick does speak to white people though, even though it's not. Even though I'd be like whack a mole. I'd be wanting them to whack a mole and fucking weirdos, but he picks and chooses his spots, and he reasonably um breaks down their argument reasonably and respectfully. So you got
So
to
his
give him that.
DNA, it's his DNA. I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's his DNA. Good for him, man.
Hold it
They
down
lit.
for a second, right quick. Hold it down for a second.
Yeah, they're a little different than us, man. Niggas would have been cursing on CNN, like, nah, fuck that. You gonna say that shit? Step off set, motherfucker.
Man, it would be crazy. Yeah, man. But Scott Jennings, man, I imagine how many times he just has to hold his tongue because he listens to a lot of buffoonery, but he's still able to get his shots in whenever
Bro,
he
that
needs to.
CNN roundtable shit that he be on, bro. I be like, bro, Scott, like, I don't even know how you listening to this shit. Like, they literally what was that? Was that today or yesterday when they were saying he ran exclusively on like prosecuting his fucking getting get back and all that shit about his his
Yeah,
rivals, and then they was like, well, um he basically said it. I'm like, bro, y'all just said he ran
yeah.
exclusively on that shit, and now y'all saying, well, he basically said it when he said this, and then they took
And
words out of fucking context. I'm
who?
like, bro,
Yeah,
get out
who
of
is
here.
that? Like, who is that little young white girl that's there? She's like, oh, I'm a journal. Like, she
Oh
has to
yeah,
be the
that
most
bitch.
airhead bit. Like,
Yeah.
nah, she's like comic
She the
relief.
one said it. She said that
Yeah,
he
I
ran
know.
exclusively on that, and then she changed it up. As soon as she said
Yeah,
Out
something,
there.
she was like, he was like, "What?
yeah,
No, he did not. He ran on the economy. He ran on fucking immigrants. He ran on closing the border. Well, he did say that he will. What's the term that she used that wasn't even like no fucking? I'm about to prosecute a
You talking
motherfucking
about
somebody.
draining the swamp?
Oh,
It
oh
wasn't even
no! What
drain
you
the
were
swamp.
talking about? It was about turning the guns on, the using the military against American people or something like that. Is that what she was talking
That
about?
wasn't even
Or no?
that wasn't even the argument that she
Oh,
used. She used a weaker one than that, and I was just like, "Yo, this is crazy."
yeah, that
Yeah.
bitch, man, that hoe's retarded. Like, she doesn't belong there. That bitch looks
But
like she
we
needs to
but
go
but
back to
here's
high
the
school.
thing though. We're still eating that. And now listen, I could maybe it is just slowly over time, conservatives will stop eating that shit. But the danger in eating that is that it emboldens them. Okay, so like it they run the mainstream TV, right? They still run the airways, right? They still run the CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, all that is still, even Fox is gone soft. So it's like basically the only thing conservatives got really is Twitter or X and
Mhm.
YouTube. And on YouTube, you got to be very careful what you say. So them
Conservatives
constantly
got Rumble.
24/7, unchecked, bashing Trump and
Yep.
by proxy, bashing
The
everyone who
people that
voted for
support him.
him. That shit over time, over years, over the 4 years, can have an effect. That's just how I feel. Salute to Deluxe. Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Shout out to Deluxe 247, my main man. Shout out to Aster J, man, other main man. He say, "Ah, where are the feminists? They've sold these bitches out. Shameful." I'm gonna get to that in a second. Shout out to my man Barry B, man, in the building, man. Barry B in the building. Salute to you, salute to all you guys supporting the channel, man. Um, as far as feminism, man, I'm not a big proponent of feminism. Is something that the black woman got sold out by the white woman. The white woman should have voted for Kamala, because here's the thing: the white woman didn't vote for Hillary. The white woman didn't vote for Hillary. They not ready. White women know intuitively. They know intuitively that it's a dangerous world. It's a dangerous world. And the only way a woman would have won any of these two elections is if
a beta male would have ran against him. But unfortunately, both times a woman ran, it was like fucking macho man, fucking dude who's been a billionaire all his life, dating models and shit, grab him by the punani and fucking, you know what I'm saying whatever he wants to say. They ran against a man's man both times. I do think Kamala and Hillary could have. I think Kamala could have beaten John McCain, even though he's a war vet and he was soft. He had gone soft. I think Kamala could have beat Bob Dole. I think Kamala could have beat any Republican candidate that lost. I think she could have beat Mitt Romney. I think she could have beat all those guys, but I just don't think, and Hillary too. But I think unfortunately, when you put a woman up against a man's man, a man who'll call her stupid, a man who's not going to just sit there because one thing about Trump, what Trump did, he's like she's awful. He talked about her like she was just. He didn't give her the female pass. He didn't give her the chick pass. You know how you are with your girl, you just kind of go soft on her and whatnot. He talked about her like a dog. He talked about Kamala like a dog. And we
Hey,
and men is like, yo, we like that shit. Like we all want to be able to do that shit.
hey,
Yo,
there was one time
at the beginning.
on. Go ahead.
No, I was finna say like at the beginning though, he was afraid to like attack her because you remember that whole when Biden, you know what I'm saying, when she replaced Biden, he was trying to motherfucking not go hard on her and like call like basically he didn't want to fucking talk about her character or her appearance or anything like that. He
Well,
really can't
the
talk too much
first
about
thing
that.
he said, the first week he said, I didn't know she was black. I mean, I've known her for years and I never knew she was black. And that right there, when he as a white man saying that, do you understand there's no other white guy who would have ran against her would have said some shit like that?
Yeah, I agree for sure. Like, nah, he different though. Like,
Man,
he set the
different than a
bar.
motherfucker.
He set the bar
Different.
so high for like the whole presidential campaigning and shit like that. Like,
Mm,
he basically showed us like the celebrity, you know what I'm saying, endorsement stage is over, motherfucker. You gotta be the entertainment. Like, it's you,
Right,
bro. Like, it's
right.
on you, motherfucker. Are you funny or not?
yeah. And also, he's a bigger celebrity than anybody who we would put up against him. Like Trump is, yeah, okay, Cardi B's a rapper, but Trump was his mentioned in 300 rap songs.
Yeah,
I mean, so whoever, like, at the end of the day, he's not only he's a politician and he's a celebrity. And here's another thing that liberals didn't anticipate. By letting in all these Hispanics, these people from Venezuela, Mexico, all these Spanish countries that they've let in, they thought they were going to replace blacks, right? We're going to replace our loyal black voting bloc with these other people of color because they're people of color, black and brown, all that stuff they learn at Harvard and Yale in their fucking schools and shit. But one thing they don't understand is that in the nobody is more macho and more about putting a woman in their place than a motherfucking Hispanic dude, man. And
I swear to God.
the
The only
only
ones is Muslims.
yeah, but guess who they let in before that? A bunch of Syrians. Remember after the war in Syria, they let
Oh
all those
yeah.
goddamn Syrians in. And what they didn't realize by letting in all these guys from the Middle East, all these military, and remember, it's all military age men. They're not letting in women. So it's all military age men from the Middle East, Africa, and fucking goddamn Central America. And all those guys would never allow a woman to lead them in the fucking battle. Never.
Yeah, they
So
so
they
like they're so just like lost on reality, dog. I hope they stay this way though. I hope they continue to like blame misogyny and racism
Well,
and
it's too
all this other
late. They
shit on
let too
women.
many in. Remember, they've let so many of these people who need these men. When you look at the caravan, it's all men. So they've let so many men in from these countries that I don't think they can turn that around. I don't think you can. I think you let too many in.
Yeah, they let too many Latinx people in, right?
Yo, a dude from they letting in dudes from the fucking Congo. Do you understand? They don't even let their women. Yo, their women basically are like third class citizens in the fucking Congo and shit. All these African nations, the woman's like a third. She's not second class. She's third class. At least in fucking Dominican Republic or fucking Guatemala, the woman is a second class citizen. These motherfuckers from these Arab countries, she's a third class citizen. And you let them in because they got color. They're people of color and they're supposed to vote Democrat. Are you kidding me? And then you put a woman up? Maybe if they put a Democrat man up, they would have a chance. They put a Democrat woman up after they done let the whole fucking third world come in.
Did you see that SNL with Burr? His whole stand up?
Nah, you talking about Bill
Bill
Burr?
Burr. Yeah, he did stand up on SNL about how Trump being undefeated against the women.
Oh, I gotta see that. Let me see. Gotta see that. Salute to everybody out there watching, man. Wherever you watching on, man. I'm gonna have to check that one out, man. Let me see. Let me play some of these clips, man. See if I can fucking work this TV, man. Where the fuck is my goddamn remote, man? I done fucking lost the remote. I hate that
Man,
shit. Don't.
but hey, but you were talking earlier, and you were talking about how we can't just say that we like Trump or whatever. And
Right.
it was probably about in 2020, maybe about 2020, because in 2016 I didn't vote, but I did know that one thing that one thing every time I saw Trump, because I I grew up watching pro wrestling, and I still do, but I had listened to pro wrestling podcasts too, like pro wrestlers who are now podcasting, doing talking about all kinds of shit. So one thing that Trump always did, it seemed like when he was on the microphone, he was no different than Triple H being on the mic, and he's making people cheer and he's also making people boo. And I'm like, damn, this dude is cutting a promo. This dude is a pro wrestler. And I'm like, as a matter of fact, he's in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So I just kind of already knew that, or I kind
Yeah.
of already
I
knew
liked
that
him
already.
when he first came out and he was talking about Rosie O'Donnell. He used to
Oh,
always go
yeah.
to
Yeah.
just
Hey,
like
man.
you ain't supposed to call a woman fat. You're not supposed to. There's no man out here that makes fun of a woman's weight. That's like completely off limits. This dude used to roast Rosie O'Donnell.
I know. He went after everybody. Like, remember what he said about John McCain? They were like,
Yeah,
he was like, John McCain's a war hero. Oh, he's a war hero. I prefer my heroes not to be captured.
right. Exactly.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I tell people, hey man, I might be biased.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to see if y'all can hear. Could y'all hear that?
I heard
Could y'all
it.
hear
I
that?
heard something. Yeah, I heard it.
All right, hold on. Tell me if you can hear it.
Yeah, I hear it.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clear? All right. No, I just wanted to make sure that y'all can hear it. I don't not necessarily want to play that one, but I want to play. Okay, let's see. Let's see this motherfucking weird line. This fucking
Fear and loathing. It's what Donald Trump bet on in one of his most controversial ads at this. Fear and loathing. It's what Donald Trump baked on. Like, what is it? What is she talking about?
Hey, every accusation is a confession.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still like an outright lie. Yes, it's a confession. That's a great. They're projecting, but it's an unchecked lie. It would
I
be like
mean,
if you invited me over for Thanksgiving, and I was like, and we were sitting around with your family, and I was like, and they were like, yeah. So where do you know T.R. McCoy from? Where'd you meet T.R. McCoy? I'd be like, oh yeah, that's my buddy from college, man. He used to blow guys behind the fucking stands in the fucking gym. But once I started hanging with him, I tried to, introduce him to some girls. And you don't say anything. You just say, pass the fucking gravy and shit. And we just move on from that without he saying anything. And
yeah,
then later on the conversation, it's like, yeah, so I was a great student. I'd be like, well, everyone thought he was a fucking retard. And we used to fucking give him wedgies and stuff him in lockers like it was high school, even though it was college. But I mean, he's an all right guy. And by the way, can you pass the turkey? And it just goes unchecked, and you're just sitting there like an asshole with your thumb up your butt, not responding to any of it. That's what
yeah,
this shit is like.
man, that kind of sounds like what white people made me believe that slavery was in 1850. You just got to sit there and take take whatever shit that the white man gives you, and that's it. Yes, suppose.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess they're trying to recreate that.
It's just this is unacceptable to me. This shit right here, this type of shit is unacceptable, man. Fear and loathing is what is most first time of this presidential campaign. Looking at the results from Tuesday night, I have sounds what some sections.
It's skipping a little bit.
Our prisoners. Can you hear it?
It's skipping. It sounds a little. Uh, you can't hear it. Make it out clearly.
Oh,
It
you
sounded
can't
like
make
you
it
were
up.
rewinding it or something.
It sounds like what?
Sound like you were rewinding it or something. Like that's how the
Oh
audio.
wow. Let me let me see something. Let me see if I can play it on YouTube because this shit is let me see.
Act, you ever notice how like I think there should be a new word for when you say the opposite of the truth because it's more than just lying. Like a lie is like something that's just not true. But saying it's dark during daytime, that's more than not true. That's the opposite of the truth. And
Yeah.
that's what they do
They're
all the time.
double lying.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what they're doing is running on fear and loathing. They're running on racial division. Um,
Projecting. They usually call it projecting.
yeah, yeah,
But it's just so obvious. It's almost like I mean, how is it you say lies so many times that
That's what I'm
everybody
saying.
believes it?
And that's my point. That's why I can't go unchecked. And that's why
Right.
just allowing it to go unchecked, a lot of times you think you think you're losing by letting it go unchecked. Exactly. That's exactly the reason why you're losing by letting that shit go unchecked. You have to check that. You have to check that at the source. Yeah, gaslighting. Salute to Rabbit Hole Reviews, man. He says Kamala couldn't beat Jack Squat. She's a giggle box, completely unlikable. I don't know. I think she beats a beta male. I think she beats a beta male. Because a beta
What?
male would never. A beta male would have never said it. She's black. I didn't know she was black. Because that when he said that
kind of like awakened Candace Owens, and that kind of awakened black people because a lot of that was basically the talk the entire campaign. Like, oh, is this shit really
Yeah,
black?
yeah.
Even though
It was
black
huge.
people
It was
have
a
been
huge move.
saying it was just a black thing. He made it a mainstream talking point.
You heard what Umar Johnson said about it? Like that he said that she would be like vindictive toward black people if she won because
Oh, definitely.
Oh hell yeah,
Yo,
man!
think
What?
about it, man. She's evil. Like everything they're saying about Trump, this woman is evil.
Yeah, yeah. And she
Everything
and
that you heard about when she was a prosecutor, and I'm not really talking about like, oh, she prosecuted some guy who was who didn't commit the murder, because that can happen. These guys always commit murders and they can beat it on the technicality. I'm talking about like having people work as firefighters or not firefighter, but putting out forest fires and shit, having prisoners putting out forest fires after they've already served their sentence and shit, keeping them in and locking up parents, black parents, because their kids ain't going to school when you know goddamn well that the fucking parent can't do shit about that. They could barely stop them from carjacking your ass, let alone fucking make them go to fucking school. But yeah, let me play this. Tell me if you can hear this. Press one if you can hear this.
It's what Donald Trump bet on in one of his most controversial ads of this
yeah, fine.
presidential campaign. And looking at the results from Tuesday night, some people think it might have worked. Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. Surgery. For prisoners. For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access. Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that. Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money. Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you. That was
That was great. That was great. Man, Trump knocked it out the park every time. Every time, nothing
No
but grand
other
slams.
Republican candidate would have said done that. Are you kidding me?
No. The
No
Vic is very
way.
sharp. The Vic is very sharp. There's no way he'll be able to pull any of that shit off. None of it.
They would have just sat back and tried to talk about play a clean race against her, even though she's talking, calling him Hitler. She's calling this guy fucking Hitler and a Nazi and a threat to democracy and a danger to our rights. And he was still, as a man, because it's not right to talk about women that way. As a man, he was supposed to eat that shit and then just coddle her. No, fuck you, bitch. You fucking weirdo. Um. So yeah, let me play the rest of it.
the ad, according to many people. That was a sleeper issue in this campaign. Julie?
I have a house in Pennsylvania and I saw that ad 24/7. And at the time I thought to myself, way to exploit a vulnerable community. I thought it was disgusting. And I still think it's disgusting.
Way to exploit a vulnerable community. What about the girls they got to play against the guys? Are they not the vulnerable community? Are the little girls that fucking try to work their whole fucking life to be good at a sport and some fucking 6'4" fucking dude named Lizzie shows up and shit and fucking takes all the trophies?
No, yeah, man. You know
What
that little
about
girl,
them?
that little girl's getting in the way. That little girl's getting in the way. I know you saw that that uh that pasty liberal white girl walk up to that baby stroller and just yell in its face. You seen it?
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, people are unhinged, man.
However, I do think Democrats have a very, very hard time communicating on not just this issue, but on a lot of issues with average voters. We just do. We have to acknowledge that we have a problem communicating. The White House spent an awful lot of time. We talked about Abogate before this. They didn't know how to communicate their position. The Biden economy was a good economy. They didn't, you may disagree with me statistically, it was. They didn't communicate it, that it was getting better and better, right? And that they needed to see it through. They needed to communicate to people during these college protests. And I know there's a lot of hard feelings on both sides of the issue on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. But when you have kids trashing college campuses and preventing other people from studying, if you're a parent, you look at that and you say, I just saved up hundreds of thousands of dollars or took out massive loans to send my kids to college. They can't make it to class because then some administration can't keep their own students under control. And the White House doesn't have a viewpoint on this because they don't want to offend one segment or the other. Or to some extent, people putting pronouns after their names. Just call me by my pronoun. And by the way, if you call me by the wrong pronoun, I'll correct you and we'll move on. You don't have to virtue signal about everything. But they didn't do, it's the constant virtue signaling, I think, that really alienates people, because what most people care about is what they care about. They just want people to be authentic and take positions. And I think as Democrats, sometimes we are so busy trying to figure out how to appeal to Scott, because Scott lives in Kentucky and Scott's a white man. And how do I speak to Scott? And I speak to Scott differently than I speak to Abby, than I speak to Julie. And the reality is, you know what I know about Scott? He's got kids who love Pokemon, and so do I. And sometimes those kids talk about Pokemon trading cards. We can talk about the same thing. We don't need to sit there and constantly try to segment how we talk to people. We don't have to look at focus groups at all times to figure it out. Common sense is common sense.
I love the spirit of what you're saying. The only difference is I think it's more than a communication problem. I think it's deeper. I think it's the soul of the Democratic Party. It's about the beliefs. It's about the values. It's not simply a comms problem. Inclusive. It's that why couldn't it's a courage problem too. It's a courage in standing up against the progressive wing of the party. Why can't any Democrat just say something simple like, of course, we have no problem after you're above 18, do what you want, live and let live. This is America. But below 18, if you can't get a tattoo, you also can't consort to hormone therapy.
That's not, listen.
Play whatever sport you want.
But you're competing
play against people that have a natural disadvantage against you.
But
this is common sense, and no Democrat can say this. That's deeper than a communication.
Yeah, it's the fact that neither one of the Democrat woman who just went on that long diatribe, she didn't touch the trans issue. You notice that?
Yep.
Because she doesn't want to offend the trans community. She talked about the economy. She talked about Scott and fucking Kentucky and the Pokemon. But one thing that white bitch didn't do was say anything about women and men playing in sports and fucking kids getting their fucking genitals cut off.
Yeah,
did you notice that? Press 1 if you noticed that.
That and immigration, those are the two. They only talk about it if you force them to, you know.
Common sense. It's not. I worked very, very hard for weeks, months in our local school board, and so many Americans know what this is like. We got thumped and threatened and beaten over trans kids using the bathroom. It was horrifying what my community went through. I mean, and what the trans kids community, we had a woman in the back who yelled, "You're brainwashed," to a person who identified as trans. She got elected to the board. We can't compete. You say we have to be better on messaging. Tell me what we're supposed to do when Donald Trump says boys are going to school and getting a surgery and coming home as girls. The fact that anybody would believe that is insane to me. But how do we? Let me just say this.
Is that dude a trans or something?
Nah, he's a comedian. He's a comedian, but he's a liberal. He's a liberal comedian, so he gets to tell jokes.
So what the fuck you talking about my community and all this other shit?
Yeah, I know. I thought he was a pedophile. I thought he was like a minor attracted people person.
Now he's talking about and make sure everyone hit the like button, man. Everyone smash that like button. And take the $5 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat, man. Shout out to Rabbit Hole Reviews. He says JD Vance will run and win in 2028. Calling it now. Salute. Hit the like button. I think JD Vance has a great chance of winning in 2028. I mean, I think he's very, very polished. I think he can definitely do it. And he just gotta keep Keep doing what he's doing, man. Don't change and don't soften up. Don't try to like come to the center because he's
Yeah,
already so measured and he's so reserved and he's so well spoken and he never rushes his words that he's centered as a person. So he doesn't need to come to the center politically. So I just
nah.
hope he stays where he's at, man.
I think he needs to pick up a felony or cheat on his wife and have a baby out of wedlock, boy, out of his outside his marriage. He
Nah,
definitely
I
went
like
in.
him, man. I like him with maybe
Tulsi Gabbard.
Byron Donalds or Vivek Ramaswamy as the vice president.
I think it should
Um,
be him or Tulsi, bruh.
or Tulsi. But I could do Tulsi, I could do Vivek, but I like him with a POC or but you know what I'm saying, running mate, man. And I think
I'd
they
like
could
to see
definitely win.
Thomas Massey. I'd like to
Yeah.
see Thomas Massey give it a go.
Because Vivek Ramaswamy can't outshine him because JD Vance is very sharp, so he wouldn't have to fear putting Vivek Ramaswamy. But I think Vivek Ramaswamy would outshine most um, candidates because Vivek is very sharp, man. Um, so let me play this.
Of this. We should be protecting vulnerable people, but we can't. The issues underlying that are a whole discussion. But in this particular campaign, unless you live in one of these battleground states, you may not have known, if you heard Kamala Harris talking, that this was an issue that in October, according to the spending, constituted 21% of Republican ad spending in this election. Yeah, that ad and this issue of trans people. Yeah. And the response from the Democrats was nothing. The ad, literally nothing.
I don't
Well,
think this ad should be held up as a.
Well, hold on. The response was nothing because there is, what are they going to say? No, we are for cutting off. They knew they had to not respond and just try to sneak into the White House. What are they going to say? We are for guys playing against girls in sport. They not responding was actually a nice strategic move on their part because you don't want to debate. They don't want to have that debate because they bullied us. They really bullied the country into getting this far in there. They bullied us with calling us transphobes and and making us calling us racist and all this stuff or istophobes. Getting into a debate about that now, they've never debated. They've just forced that stuff through. They've never debated anybody on that. So that was I don't think that was I don't think they should have debated that topic. I think they did the right thing. What do you guys think about that?
Man, fuck that. No, you gotta treat these
I'm talking about
trans people.
strategically. I'm not saying that I
Oh,
agree with it. I'm just talking about
oh.
strategically.
No, well, I'm just saying, man, you gotta treat them like terrorists. Don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah. All right.
Model for how to talk to people.
Oh no.
And I feel like
Let me just be very clear. This ad, I'm not saying that this ad is the way to address the issue of trans people, who are people, by the way. And I'm not holding it up as a paragon of ads. I'm just saying the reporting is the Trump campaign ran this ad and their numbers came back and said this was the top ad for them. It worked the best out of all the things that they tried. Sure. And there was no response to
there's a larger issue here, right? The larger issue is this. What
See, she's trying to change the subject. They don't want to even talk about it now. The woman, the moderator of the show, the host of the show, just told you, just laid the agenda for the next segment. And this bitch is gonna come in and talk about something completely different because she's scared to talk about that shit even now. Like I told you, they do not that they know that that's just a ridiculous. They know how ridiculous that trans shit is.
They know how ridiculous it is.
If you heard Kamala Harris talking, that this was an issue that in October, according to the spending, constituted 21% of Republican ad spending in this election. That ad and this issue of trans people. Yeah. And the response from the Democrats was nothing. The ad, literally nothing.
I don't think this ad should be held up as a model for how to talk to people.
Oh no. And I feel like that's sort of the sentence. Let me just be very clear. This ad, I'm not saying that this ad is the way to address the issue of trans people, who are people, by the way. And I'm not holding it up as a paragon of ads. I'm just saying the reporting is the Trump campaign ran this ad and their numbers came back and said this was the top ad for them. It worked the best out of all the things that they tried. Sure. And there was no response to
But there's a larger issue here, right? The larger issue is this. The White House will constantly get into these little Twitter wars or little meme wars, for example, with Steve Doocy from Fox News, right? Constantly, they would try to own Steve Doocy from Fox News. Well, I'm sorry. Who cares about Steve Doocy from Fox News? That's great for Steve Doocy, but the average American person doesn't know who he is. That's what they transition. Hold on, no, just generally. And what they do is they wasted time.
See what he said? He said on the trans issue, she don't want to talk about that because she knows she can get in fucking trouble if she says the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's an absurdity. I mean, I don't think no one anywhere in the world is. I think that's why Matt Walsh was so smart to go after that issue, because conservatives weren't attacking it really until he did. So
conservatives thought it was ridiculous. Conservatives thought it was ridiculous, just like how now I'm saying how they think it's ridiculous the things the Democrats say and the gaslighting and the projecting that Democrats do. They think that's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is when you think something's ridiculous and you don't take it seriously, it gets roots and it germinates and it grows fucking limbs. So like, yeah, we looked at it like, what the fuck, girls in sports? And then the Olympics came around and it was not only girls and it was not only boys playing sports like tennis or golf against girls. It was boys playing combat sports against girls, kicking their asses.
Yeah.
So while we thought it was ridiculous for a girl to fucking play fucking table tennis, I mean, versus a boy who thinks who's claiming to be a girl, they took that shit to boxing. While we were laughing at by how ridiculous it was.
They should have looked straight into the camera every single day and said, you know what? We just passed a bipartisan infrastructure bill. And in Northampton County, Pennsylvania, or in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, on Route 212, thanks to our bill, there's a pothole on Riegelsville Road, and we filled it. That pothole that you've been riding on for the last 10 years, thanks to us, we filled it. Instead of that, they're talking about little memes with Steve. I mean, again, the messaging was all over the place as opposed to laser focusing on their accomplishments. And I'm sorry to say, it was a huge missed opportunity. And you ask why Biden's numbers consistently went down. It's because nobody ever effectively communicated his accomplishments over and over and over and over again. And they should have, because they are vast. They are vast.
I think, I hate to let you guys in on a secret, but I will. The ad works not because of the trans issue. The ad works.
Charlemagne.
The ad works because it communicates something about what this person as a politician would say yes to when it comes to either your tax dollars or doing something, in this case, for an inmate population. Well over half the country sits around all the time going, why is the government so focused on everyone but me? There's a lot of people in this country who believe they've been crushed by COVID, crushed by inflation, crushed because of their values, crushed because of where they live or who they are or what they believe in. And so the ad works, not because it's targeted at the trans community. Yes, that's right. The ad works because
It is they're showing you what this president would be willing to do with your money and who they would pander to if they were the commander in chief. And that's why it was so effective.
What's Scott is saying about Americans feeling like the system isn't working for them, I think we can probably all agree that that is true, right?
Well, it's working. People feel that.
People feel that, right? Yeah. So, but and so when the other part of the conversation of the ongoing autopsy Democrats are having is about why aren't they speaking better to working class people? I mean, one of the few demographics that Kamala Harris improved on in this race were people making $100,000 or more. So wealthy people, probably more educated people, they're responding to what the Democrats are doing, and that's not enough people to win.
Yeah, but those people are fucking elitist liberals. They're like the people who live in Ann Arbor, where I was from, who have fucking these beautiful houses. They're professors, they're lawyers, they're doctors. They can afford to be woke. They can afford to fucking have a trans kid. Going to a fucking wine and cheese party with a bunch of other fucking liberal lobbyists and professors with your trans kid makes you the talk of the fucking town. You're the fucking life of the party if you show up with a trans kid to that wine and cheese party. But that's people making over $100,000 a year or more is not a fucking America, man. America is some fucking white guy with a fucking blue F-1500 and he's fucking paying $700 a fucking month on a note because he could only put down a fucking $1,000 because he's fucking broke. But he gets to ride around in the Ford F-1500. Not some fucking people with $100,000, you fucking morons. And that fucking guy riding around in an F-15 and Ford 1500, he thinks fucking if a fucking guy came on the court and tried to fucking play against his daughter, he might rush the fucking court and get fucking taken out by security. These people, these Democrats, man, I'm telling you, not only are they lost on every issue, but then they get to come back and fucking talk shit. And it,
The Democrats, they were so busy actually creating policies, Catherine can talk more about them, that have actually improved the lives of working class people.
They did talk about that.
But yeah.
I mean, they also did a lot of things for highly educated like college grads. Like, I think to Scott's point about the sort of symbolism, I don't entirely agree with your analysis of that ad. I think you make some good points. I don't entirely agree. But I think another policy that was symbolically about people other than the median voter was the student debt forgiveness, which disproportionately went to, well, first of all, to people who went to college who are likely to have higher earnings in general. But also the way that it was structured went to a lot of people who are likely to have very high earnings, including people who are going to become doctors and lawyers and things like that. And part of the reason those policies were structured that way and were touted that way is because that's who was staffing this administration. There are people who went to Yale Law School who want their debt forgiven.
The Democratic Party, it has seen itself as the party of the working class, multiracial coalition. In any other country in Europe, they'd call themselves the Labor Party because it's the party of labor, right? But what's happened over the past 10 years is that non-college educated working class voters have been hemorrhaged to the Republican Party. And the Democrats have become the party of the college educated. No one would have predicted this 15 years ago. It is a massive devastation and humiliation to the self-concept of the Democratic Party. And it has to be reckoned with right now. That's what's happened. That's what just happened.
But that's my point of this. We segment as Democrats how we talk to people. As a Democrat,
I was a diverse party.
No, because listen, what unites us is much, much, much. Actually, we're getting less diverse by the day. If you look at where Latinos are going and African Americans, that's a problem. That's a big problem for us. That's because I would be advised as a Democratic strategist to talk to you on a particular subject, and I would be advised to talk to Abby on a very different subject, and to each of you on a different subject.
We're very different.
We're not.
Yeah, we have a lot of different interests.
No, we're not. The bottom line is there's a lot more that unites us than divides us, and we start talking to people about common sense issues and common sense language rather than trying to figure out how to be too cute by half. That's how you message, and that's not how the last Democratic president who did that well was Bill Clinton.
Any thoughts?
I'm just thinking about, like, imagine, like, you ever have, like, your mom or something when you're a kid gave you a haircut and was like, no, this is going to be good. And then you went to school and you're like, man, they made fun of me. This haircut sucked. Well, just imagine now you're going to have these kids that get convinced to become trans by their parents, how they're going to feel about their parents when they're an adult. Just
man, the therapy, man. I mean, and those kids are the type of kids that they say commit suicide because somebody misgendered them. No, that kid's not committing suicide because I didn't call him by his correct pronouns. That kid's committing suicide because he was fucking told he was fucking 11 years old and he was a fucking weirdo and he was told to fucking cut his dick off.
Yeah.
And then 15 years later, I misgendered him while he was fucking working at Starbucks and he went out back and fucking blew his brains out. That had nothing to do with me, you fucking weirdos.
Yeah, straw that broke the camel's back.
No, it wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back. They're lying. It had nothing to do with me. These people are crazy, man. I ain't giving them, I'm not conceding nothing to them. We concede too much to these fucking weirdos, man.
Yeah, Trump was the first to say fake news. So
at first glance, it would seem easy to explain last Tuesday's election as part of a 2024 global wave against incumbents beset by post-COVID turmoil and inflation. The UK saw a huge Tory parliamentary majority turn into its thinnest minority in the party's nearly 200-year history. Germany's governing coalition.
I think you muted your mic, Ak.
Yeah, we can't hear.
That Kamala Harris, representing the incumbent administration, lost decisively as well.
This campaign.
But Harris could have bucked the trend. The American economy is doing better than all these other nations. Employment is strong, wages are up, inflation is down, productivity is soaring. More importantly, Donald Trump has many strengths as a political figure, but he also has many weaknesses. Let's recall that after January 6, 2021, Trump's approval rating was down to 34% in a CNN poll. In a Marquette Law School poll matchup a year later, Joe Biden was beating him by 10 points nationally, 43 to 33. Then came the overturning of...
Yeah, but they don't realize that all that was manufactured bullshit by their media. Like their lies and their media machine manufactured that. That wasn't real. Trump wasn't really disliked. It was a confluence of COVID, making people stay in the house and closing down businesses and destroying the economy. It was a confluence of George Floyd. The country is racist, inherently racist. They're lynching black people in the street. It was a lot. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, it was just, they're leaving a lot out. It wasn't. It was a very unique time. It was a once in 100 years time where you would have George Floyd and COVID at the same time. Like, think about when we had Rodney King, right? Rodney King, the whole Rodney King mess, right? We had Rodney King. What if? What? Oh no, let's do OJ. What if we had OJ and the fucking goddamn Black Plague at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Like it was Trump dealt with something that no politician could have survived. So once things are back to a normal fucking time where, you know what I'm saying, everybody knows that black people are horrible fucking in their interactions with cops, and everyone now knows that, you know, fucking COVID was a fucking some bullshit. Those numbers, pulling up numbers of how Trump was seen in the midst of that, is fucking retarded right now, right? Is it just me, or does that seem retarded to pull up those numbers right now?
Yeah, I remember his approval dropped like drastically when COVID happened.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Republican, and you got some black dude yelling for his mama while white cops got his knee on his neck, and it's being played fucking 24/7, and people, and the only way you can get out of the house while we're being locked down because of COVID, if you want to, the only cheat code to get away from being locked down from COVID is to go protest for this fucking ape named George Floyd. So yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go protest for this fucking ape named George Floyd if it gets me, if this is the only way I get to fucking leave the house.
Roe v. Wade and the 2022 midterms, in which the Republicans did very badly for midterm, and MAGA candidates in particular got crushed. Trump's favorability ratings sank to 31% in a CNN poll, with an unfavorable rating at a staggering 60%. Even Republicans were disillusioned with him. At this point, Trump had led a Republican Party that lost its House majority in 2018, its Senate majority and the presidency in the 2020 cycle, and then fared historically badly in those 2022 midterms. In December 2022, Ron DeSantis was outpolling Trump easily among Republicans in a Wall Street Journal poll. That was the Democratic Party's strongest moment since Trump's arrival on the political landscape. But they blew it. The New York Times estimates that Harris will lose the national popular vote by about 1.5 points, a first for Democrats since 2004. Global inflation is something that was hard to shut down, but there were other issues that Democrats flubbed, which inflamed the opposition and depressed their base. I'm going to talk about them here because it's the right time to do a postmortem. But to avoid appearing to have 20/20 hindsight, I should say that I have noted each of these mistakes at the time, often provoking angry responses from the left. The first big error was the Biden administration's blindness to the collapse of the immigration system and the chaos at the border. An asylum system that was meant for a small number of persecuted individuals was being used by millions to gain legal entry. Instead of shutting it down, liberals branded anyone protesting as heartless and racist. They missed a massive shift in American public opinion in just a few years. In 2020, the percentage of Americans who wanted to decrease immigration was just 28%. By this year, it was 55%. When Kamala Harris went on The View and was asked how she would have differed from Biden, instead of basically saying nothing different, she should have said, "I would have shut down the border early and hard."
Yeah, but he doesn't understand that if she says that, then she loses her base, because her base is so fucking radical and weird and shit that they would punish her for saying that. So she couldn't say that. She should have answered it. She should have said something. I agree. She shouldn't have just said, "Oh, there's nothing I would change." But
She definitely shouldn't have touched immigration, trans, or any of that bullshit. She should have just said, she should have just picked some inconsequential thing that Biden did and said she would have done that. At least have an answer. And because she's a quote unquote black woman, she would have gotten an A for that. She would have gotten an A for effort. But by saying, oh, there's nothing I would have changed, they had to give her an F. They reluctantly gave her an F on that assignment, and that was a big problem.
Zealous misuse of law to punish Trump. The most egregious of the cases pursued was Alvin Bragg's one in New York, one that even he was once skeptical of, but was reportedly pressured by some on the left into pursuing. Some cases, like the Georgia one, were legitimate, but the host of them piled on in rapid succession gave the impression that the legal system was being weaponized to get Trump. It confirmed to his base what it had always believed, that overeducated urban liberals were hypocrites, happy to bend rules and norms when it suited their purposes. It's worth noting that in this week's election, a CNN exit poll found that among those who believe that democracy in the US is threatened, a majority supported Trump. Lawfare turned Trump from being a loser into a victim. And as his indictments grew, his campaign contributions surged and his poll numbers solidified. The final error is a more diffuse one, the dominance of identity politics on the left, which made it push for all kinds of DEI policies that largely came out of the urban academic bubble, but alienated many mainstream voters. There's an irony in claiming to be pro-Latino by insisting that people use the term Latinx, only to discover that Latinos themselves think the word is weird. This kind of obsession made Democrats view people too much through their ethnic or racial or gender identity, and it made them miss, for example, that working class Latinos were moving toward Trump perhaps because they were socially conservative, or liked his macho rhetoric, or even agreed with his hardline stance on immigration. One of Trump's most effective ads on trans issues had a tagline:
Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
The problem is much deeper than simply one about nouns and pronouns. The entire focus on identity has morphed into something deeply illiberal, judging people by the color of their skin rather than the content of their character. Similarly, university speech codes and cancel culture have become ways that the left censors or restricts that most cherished of liberal ideas, freedom of speech. One simple way to think about the lessons of this election is that liberals cannot achieve liberal goals, however virtuous, by illiberal means. Go to cnn.com/Farouk.
Yeah, man. Whew. This is see this cloud.
When I say I am sick and tired of the bullshit from Senator Bernie Sanders, I'm just tired of it. After the election on Tuesday, he decides to send out this statement. Go to my iPad. Bernie Sanders' statement on the results of the 2024 presidential election. It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and Black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago. Today, despite an explosion in technology, worker productivity, and he goes on and on and on. He goes on talking about the spending with Israel.
He taught, will the big money interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and the political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? And blah, 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 blah. In the coming weeks and months, those of us concerned about grassroots democracy and economic justice need to have some very serious political discussions. All right, here's why I got a problem with the statement, Lauren. He wants to throw in Latino and Black in this. No, and I said this after 16, and I said it after 20. No, Bernie, what I was just saying with Jay Elliott, you need to take your ass and go talk to white working class people. Because if you actually look at the agenda of Biden-Harris, it was a whole lot that the working class got. And when you say working class, what are we talking about? Union workers? What are we talking about? And Sanders keeps going with this as if he's not a United States senator, as if he can't mobilize people. And it gets on my damn nerves when you act like stuff did not get passed. And so he keeps saying they are abandoning working class people when he wants to deny the reality of whiteness and also white culture that also drives the voting habits of working class people. How is it that Black working class folk got it, and he's wrong in his press release, Black working class people, we figured it out, but the other folk didn't?
Well,
These niggas are crazy, man. These some crazy, crazy Negroes, man. God.
Winning is everything. Winning, when you have to win, it's more important than loyalty. It is everything. If you don't win, you have done nothing. And we're unfortunately we finding that out the hard way.
Hello and welcome to a bonus edition of the Bulwark Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Miller. I'm here with the Raging Cajun, James Carville. He's got a documentary that one of our last podcasts was featured in, and it is live on Max, November 14th. Winning is everything. Stupid. James, the last time you were here, we were talking about a Kamala Harris parade. I guess they rained on our parade, brother.
Yeah, well, they did. And so let's review the bidding. So you and I have been in politics for a long time. All right. And if the country wants something different, you try to give the country something different. And I think that this election really boiled down to two massive mistakes. First, if Joe Biden gets out July 21st, understand that there's just massive amount of talent in the Democratic Party. As I say, there's 350 hitters all over AAA ball. We just don't know them. And no, he gets out on the 21st. And I told Adam DeGurney, we didn't even get a chance to kick the tires. We just said, you're buying the car and you have no choice. And of course, we bought the car. And I think if this campaign is reducible to one moment, we're in a 65% wrong track country. The country wants something different. And she's asked, is so often the case in a friendly audience on The View, how would you be different than Biden? It's the one question that you exist to answer. All right? That is it. That's the money question. That's the one you want. That's the one that everybody wants to know the answer to. And you freeze. You literally freeze and say, well, I can't think of anything. And once you get in it, so we said 65% want something different. We are just not going to give in to them, but maybe the odiousness of Trump combined with the Dobbs decision, we can overcome it. Well, we didn't overcome it. But when we go back and history unearths this, it's going to be right there on The View. And I think her name was Sunny House in Houston, whatever.
Yeah, man. Like, you just can't. If Kamala would have said, I would have changed the shades in the Oval Office. I would have changed the color of the shades in the Oval Office. I would have fucking planted tulips instead of fucking rosebuds
on the fucking White House lawn, she would have gotten an A for effort for that question.
I'm glad you said
This,
A for effort. I thought you was gonna say it would have changed something. I'm like, that shit wouldn't have changed
yes,
that.
it would have.
Nah.
It would have been an A. It would have
No,
been
I'm
an
saying it would
A.
have been an A for effort, but she still wouldn't have won.
Yeah, I think she does. I think on The View, asked by Sonny Halston, like he said, if you can't get a friendlier environment on The View, asked by Sonny Halston. Yeah, well, Sonny, great question. Um, you know, there's a there's a mahogany desk in the Oval Office, and I think I would have just painted it teal and put some, pink trim on it and changed the shades, and everybody would have laughed and it would have been great, and it would have been like, oh, she answered the question. This bitch said there's not, she didn't say no, she said there's not one thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, she was a terrible candidate. I'm just like, I'm just thinking like, you gotta be such a shitty candidate to say that when your motto is we're not going back and what's the other shit?
Yeah.
Basically, everybody's just want to get away from Biden. That's the reason they ditched his ass. Like you supposed to be the different candidate, and your team didn't prep you on. You've been prepped with all type of other answers for stupid questions that didn't make sense. They didn't prep you for this one.
They prepped her, but I think he was right there because she must have frozen, or they had to have prepped her for that because, or even if you're not prepped, and salute to LRS and salute to Rabbit Hole Reviews. That's facts. 100,000 isn't the same it used to be, but prepped or not, you gotta be able to answer that question, man.
Yeah,
You
they
gotta
was
be.
trying to feed it to her though. Like they wanted her to answer that shit and knock it out the park because while people don't watch The View, that was gonna change their mind on like if they were voting for her or not, it would have been covered by
But
everybody.
people hate watch The View. You gotta remember, people hate watch The View. A lot of people hate watch The View.
I mean, that's kind of like me and Roland Martin. Like, I really like watching Roland Martin. That shit is fucking, bro. I watch Roland Martin for real. Like that unfiltered shit. That shit is hilarious.
Yeah. So I think if she would have answered that question right, it changes to the trajectory. Now I don't know what would happen after that, but when she's got that like out there, and then she was asked again, wasn't she? And she answered the same way, right? She was given a second
It
chance
was
to
on
answer it.
Colbert.
Yeah.
It was so tell me what's different between you and Joe Biden. And then she was like, well, I'm not Joe Biden. And he was like, well, obviously. We see that.
Right. And
You
it's
know what I'm
like,
saying?
wow. Like, yeah, she was just a dreadful kid.
She
And
was a
listen,
shitty candidate. That was Joe Biden's last shits to giggles to the Democrat Party, because in that letter, when his people, well, not his people, but Nancy and Obama and all of them sent that fucking letter out, they didn't endorse anyone because they were ready for open primary. He came out when he woke up from his nap and found out that they had ousted his ass. He went on his X page. Well, Jill probably went on the page and was just like, I fully endorse Kamala Harris and da 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 da. And they was like, fuck.
right.
Because it took the Obamas like fucking 8 days to fucking say something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that was his last shit. Like he was like, "Oh, so
He
y'all want to
knew.
oust me?" Well, Jill Biden probably said like, "Oh, so y'all want to oust me? All right, bet. Let me see how y'all do this. I'm about to endorse the fucking female black, so-called black. I want to see y'all replace her now." It would have been really bad if they would have been like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
They
fuck what he
couldn't, yeah,
say."
they couldn't replace
the sitting black vice president
they
who
couldn't have.
wants the job, who publicly wants it. Now, like it would have been hard to replace her even if she didn't want it. But the sitting black female vice president, sorry, we're gonna go with a white guy. Oh,
Yo,
there's no
do you
way.
yo,
No
the
way.
Democrat plan was working every way up till the point where Joe Biden, well, not Joe Biden, but it's probably Jill put out that tweet. Do you remember how active Gavin Newsom and JB Prisker and all of them were? Like how they were like going and meeting. They were meeting with like uh foreign fucking presidents and prime
Yeah.
ministers and shit. Like it was all their plan. It was working. And then at the last second, boom. Oh, y'all want to say this bitch black? I bet. This who y'all got.
Damn. Yeah. She's such a dumb bimbo. Like she's not a terrible candidate. She's the worst candidate that's if she was white, if she was a white woman, she wouldn't have won one state.
Bro, as a black woman, she didn't win nothing. She didn't even in 20 like, bro, it took what? It took up until one debate stage where you remember when all them people were on stage when Trump was running the first time? And I mean when the Democrats was doing their primary, it was
Mm-hmm.
like fucking 12 of them, 10 of them. It took one debate for the country to be like, yeah, nah, this bitch is not that
Yeah,
good, bro. She didn't even make it to like to votes in Iowa, bro, for the primary.
yeah.
She was bad, bro. She's not a good candidate. She never earned anything. She never won a real election. Like everything that she had to her was given to her because she was fucking something,
Or
or she
black.
was or well, nah, she was Indian, whatever. But like
Yeah.
it
No,
all
but
was
when
handed to
Biden
her.
said, I'm going to choose a black
Oh yeah, yeah,
female
yeah, 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 yeah,
vice president.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like she never earned anything. That whole and then her her little procession when she was like, she hit the twice as hard and all this other shit. Like, bitch, you did not earn anything. You got everything because you were cute and you were fucking something like a man. That's it. Like you didn't get anything, and it's just not a good candidate, dog. But hey, did you see HBCU mass shooting?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. What's the name of that school again?
Tuskegee out in Alabama.
Tuskegee.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see that shit, man. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Um, we back in effect with a mask and attack. You heard me?
A shooting early this morning at Tuskegee University in Alabama has left one person dead and 16 others injured.
It is the latest school shooting to rock an American campus, and police now revealing a 25-year-old man was arrested with a weapon after he had left the scene of the shooting. Just terrifying moments like this playing out across campus. One witness on social media posting video of the terrifying moments when the shooting erupted and students fled for safety. The person killed, an 18-year-old man who was not a university student. Students were among the injured, though. At least 12 of the 16 injured were hit by gunfire. The shooting happened as the historically black university's 100th homecoming week was winding down. Classes have now been canceled for tomorrow. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content.
Tonight, police arresting a man accused of killing one person and injuring 12 people this morning at Tuskegee University. In the case, police say they arrested Jaquez Myrick, who was found leaving the scene of the shooting.
Jaquez Myrick. There you go,
Oh
Jaquez Myrick.
man, damn, dog. Hey, have you ever been down there to Tuskegee?
Nah.
Oh my god, bro, that shit looks so crazy. It's like that bit look like Emmett Till gonna motherfucking walk down the street.
Yeah, they still living, they backwards and shit.
Yeah, bro, that bit. So Tuskegee is 20 minutes away from Auburn, right? So like in the town of Tuskegee, they don't have like no stores. They ain't got shit. All they got is a Burger King and a sandwich shop. So they gotta come to like Auburn for Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Like groceries and shit like that. They ain't got shit out there, bro. It's fucked up.
That sucks, man. Yeah. Damn. That's crazy, man. Fuck. I mean, what was the mass shooting recently? It was another mass shooting at HBCU recently. Was that, I want to say Coppin State or it was in Baltimore, right?
I don't think I heard of it. I mean,
It's so
it's almost like
many.
the mainstream media won't cover it or some shit because I ain't heard about it.
Yeah, it's so many of them, man. No, it was when First Take went down there. Remember when First Take went down to that school?
Oh, Tennessee State.
Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably like that was like a month ago. Yeah, that was a month ago. Yeah. So Jesus.
Man, they got video. They got video of before the mass shooting happened at Tuskegee. It's like on Twitter. Man, you see so many motherfucking some words. That shit looks so crazy, man. I was like, man, dude, I would have just started vomiting, dog, if I was near that shit.
Yeah, because when we like, I remember going to Howard Homecoming, right? Just being from DC, going up to Howard Homecoming. Not every year, but a couple times through my life, I'd go up there. We parking lot pimp, hang out on the street and shit on Georgia Avenue and everything. And it would be a lot of dudes from the city out there. And it's just like, yeah, like that HBCU thing attracts Negroes. And when you got Negroes there, they're going to get into stuff with each other. And they're going to handle it the way Negroes handle it.
Yeah, I think this one was more like it was like the so like down south at these HBCUs, obviously Tuskegee and all this other shit. You will have your whatever frat parties, but you will have your locals that, you know what I'm saying, are like the party promoter type shit. This shit looked like it was just a party in an apartment complex or some shit. This shit looked crazy. Man, it was so many motherfuckers out there. Check that shit on Twitter. Find it like Tuskegee, man, whatever. You'll see all them motherfuckers out there. That shit look nuts.
Salute to Astor J, man. He says, Trump said, imagine waking up to that face every day about Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah, man, he used to fry Rosie O'Donnell, man. Let me hold on.
In possession of a machine gun with a conversion device. Myrick was arrested and charged federally with possession of a machine gun. The shooting taking place at the tail end of Tuskegee's 100th homecoming celebration. And a warning, the video you're about to see shows the gunfire ringing out. Faith Abube has a story.
Tonight, young people frantically telling each other to get down. Get out, get out, get out, get out. You can hear the gunfire ringing out around them. The terrifying scene unfolding on the Tuskegee University campus in Alabama overnight. It was homecoming weekend at the historically Black university.
While other officers were assisting the medical triage of it, we had to exercise caution because we didn't know if the shooter was still on the scene.
12 injured by gunfire, 16 hurt in total, including students. An 18-year-old who was not a student did not survive.
Homecoming was supposed to be an enjoyable time, enjoyable place here at Tuskegee University. It's for something like this to happen. People are disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. Really confused about why somebody would do something like this.
Late today, authorities announcing they've made an arrest in connection with the shooting.
Tuskegee announced that all classes tomorrow have been canceled. Grief counselors will be available to help students in the university's chapel.
Man,
My God.
Tonight, an arrest in Tuskegee, Alabama, where at least one person is dead and several injured after a shooting at the university's 100th homecoming. CBS's Jason Allen is there for us tonight with the details. Jason.
Eureka law enforcement said they've arrested a 25-year-old man who they say had a handgun with a machine gun conversion device. There is obviously a lot of concern among students who are coming back to campus, even as investigators are still collecting evidence.
Oh my gosh.
A centennial celebration interrupted by panic and gunfire.
We were having fun, and all of a sudden, I saw people running towards me before I heard gunshots.
Now, I will say this, though. I will say this. Like, that is fucking nuts to, like, let off that many shots in public. Like, niggas, we can't lose sight of how nuts niggas are. The average run-of-the-mill nigga, baseline nigga is when he gets a gun in his hand. That shit is crazy.
16 injured, so.
I mean, just to, like.
Into a crowd, yeah.
What made him leave? Like, it seemed like it's like, yo, do they ever think like, hey man, I need to get out of here? They just keep shooting. Like whatever. Like, god damn. He just is he waiting to hear sirens in the distance? Like, what's gonna make this guy stop shooting?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. What's up, y'all? What's up, Doc?
Ain't nothing was cracking, man.
Not much. I'm glad Trump got the victory. I just want to say that. I live in DC where it didn't fucking matter. 90% Democrats.
Hello, one electoral vote, man.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy, man. These fucking libtards everywhere in the city. I feel great. I voted for myself, but you know, whatever.
So tell me this, like, because we know you are also the ladies' man, also the man, a man of the sheep or the sheep people, man. What do your honeys, man, think about that, man?
I don't know. They mad. They mad. They mad.
You had the courage to tell them, or did you just?
Nah, I've been told. I mean, anybody. A lot of my. I'm not even really like a Trump supporter. I'm really just kind of independent. I don't really care either way. But a lot of people that know me, they think I'm a Trump supporter because I'm just asking them critical questions like, "Why the fuck are you racist? And where's your evidence?" So they think I'm a Trump supporter anyway. But they're just kind of salty in their feelings. There a lot of doom and gloom, and it's just like, y'all are so fucking weak. You bitches sound retarded. Like it's kids getting killed in your communities every day, and you bitches want the right to kill the babies inside of you. Meanwhile, you want to be mad that Trump is a felon, but you didn't abort the felon's baby, that you carried a felon's baby inside of you. You bitches are stupid, young. That IQ thing is really showing itself, yo. It's really showing itself. It's crazy.
Yeah, that whole felony thing is insane, man. For Black women, and the fact that like they can't hear themselves. Like, it's one thing to just be confronted with that and to be hostile to that. It's another thing for none of you to have the internal dialogue to be like, wait a second, I'm a Black chick who listens to fucking NBA Youngboy and fucking goddamn DMX and shit. And I'm sitting here publicly talking about somebody got felonies and shit.
They be sleeping with felons. Their brothers are felons. Their daddies are felons. Like,
listen, do you know how many chicks I know with in family and other that went to the club or met a guy somehow, asked him had he ever been to jail, but didn't ask him what for.
Oh, right.
Or found out he'd been to jail because niggas don't hide that shit. That's kind of it's not why would you hide something that benefits you, right?
Yeah.
But never asked and had either a child with the guy or moved him in with their kids.
Yo, I got one worse for you. I know black female cops that would date a dude.
That fuck with felons, yeah.
That would date a dude and not even look him up. And then you find out
database and shit.
Bro, I'm talking about I know a black female that had a motherfucker basically move in with her, bro, and didn't even look him up until it got to the point where they were like, she had to shoot the motherfucker because they was domesticating so bad. And then you look him up and it's be like, this motherfucker had all type of domestic arrests. He went to jail for a fucking attempt murder. And it's just like, did you look him up? It's like, no, I didn't look him up. Why wouldn't you look this motherfucker up? You got access to it.
But I ain't even gonna hold you. Sometimes I didn't ask chicks if they look me up. I'm like, bitch, you ain't look me up yet. What's wrong with you? You don't know who the fuck I am. You just gonna let me smooth talk you out your drawers?
Yeah, but black chicks are just like that, man. In their internal, it's IQ. Yeah, it's IQ. It's IQ. It's also like the normalcy of it. It's also it's just like that's the pool, that's the pond that they fish in. If the pond you fishing in got that type of fish in it, that's kind of like your expectation. You live with that,
I think you'd be surprised, man. Women in general are kind of weirdly attracted to that. They created a like Tinder profile of this guy. They made a Giga Chad that was like perfect in every way, and they put in his description that he was like a child molester and he wanted to keep touching little children just as an experiment. And tons of women just flooded in, hitting him up, and they showed all the proof messages.
Hold on, how did they? Hold on, how did they put in that he was a child molested on Tinder?
In the
I
description,
don't know if it was
like
Tinder.
bio.
It might have been in the bio. Or I've never used these apps. It might have been Tinder or one of the other really popular apps. I could send you a link to it.
Who would put in their own description though that they were a child molester?
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, right?
Right.
But I believe it though. I gotta look that
No,
up.
I believe it, but I just want to know how it was believable to them.
Oh, if you read it, trust me, if you read it, you will be shocked. The way they describe it was like this dude, like they just describe it like this super arrogant asshole dude that's like, I don't give a fuck if they're under 16, I'm gonna keep doing it. And
you talking about not like little kids? Okay.
Well, it was egregiously bad, and he was like, maybe what the gist of it was like, maybe one of you can get me to pull back a little bit, but we'll see if one of you bitches can do that. So yeah, man.
And these are white women. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like white women like a guy with edge. I definitely agree with that. I 1000% agree with that. But when you black, in order to have edge, you gotta do. It's so much you gotta do to have edge as a black dude. Like going to jail and is it doesn't even separate. It doesn't even make you edgy to have walked
baseline
a fucking prison yard and shit. You gotta like kill somebody. You have to have been in a gang. You have to like been part of a street crew. You have to like, have
kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want black women want like a motherfucker. Like for instance, like you could be a badass white boy, you got a leather jacket and a bike and some tattoos, and you like didn't pay your fucking student loans and you fucking like you know what I'm saying, you reneged on a bunch of bills and shit, and you don't talk to your parents, like you're edgy, man, nigga, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. You got a fucking you, yeah,
Yeah,
that's nothing. A black
you ain't in the
yeah,
game.
like not paying your bills is seen as a bad thing amongst white people. Niggas look at that as like a fucking plus. Like, oh, you ain't paying. Oh, you. How did you figure out? Like, how did you work? Cheating on your taxes is like, you understand that? Like, man, listen, in certain neighborhoods, man, 90% of the black people cheat on their taxes.
Yeah. Including the dude who does the taxes.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck yeah, man.
Local tax guy.
They sell their
90% of
claim on taxes. I've seen that before.
Yo, man, I'm telling you, man. By the time it's kids that by the time they fucking grow up, they've been claimed on like 5, 6 different people's taxes.
Right, real shit.
Yeah, man. Listen, so it's a whole different edge. You want to have edge with a brother, and that's what leads us, like, because like think about it, like whenever you get a brothers around girls like they it's just it gets crazy. Like you get some street guys or black street guys around some girls, shit get crazy, man. You any offense, any little, like, you know what I'm saying, this or something, they're gonna handle it to the utmost. And the girls are gonna look at you as a bitch if you don't handle it. It's crazy. It's weird, man. It's weird, man. The type of violence that, you know, their presence provokes.
Right. And that's if the girls ain't provoking violence first.
Right. Yeah. They provoke a bunch of violence. Yeah, but I'm talking about just their presence.
Yeah.
That's why you
You
should
know what
never.
I'm saying? Around black dudes provokes a lot of shit, man. Like I could tell a dude, like, yeah, man, that nigga Olsen, man, he flaky ass nigga, man. I try to get some weed from that nigga. That nigga was bullshitting. He ain't got no connect, playing big boy like he got connects. He ain't got shit. And you gonna be mad about that, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, you gonna be mad. But if I tell a girl that, you gonna be looking for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You will be nigga will be looking for you and shit, because it's like it just ups it, man.
Yeah.
It ups that shit, man. And I seen that shit, man. I listen, that's why niggas, I'm terrified of what niggas is going to try to do to the Republican Party or the Conservative Commission. Like, niggas ruin everything, right? Press 1 if you agree with that. That niggas ruin everything, right?
Wow.
So here come a bunch of niggas that voted for Trump or are more leaning conservative and more open about it. I see them on YouTube, I see them on Twitter, I see them on TikTok. Bunch of niggas that are now all of a sudden, you know, not scared to, you know, those niggas are still niggas. So other niggas, from liberal niggas and Democrat niggas, will be able to manipulate them niggas, right? So you got a bunch of niggas that's now them Republican or conservative, right? So what that forces now is every conservative white person has to be on their tippy toes and 1000% politically correct. And there can never be an interaction between a white conservative and a black conservative that doesn't go the black conservative's way.
Yeah, I think that's really only a concern of the what you call it, them educated niggas. Like them street niggas, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about that shit. They be laughing at Trump. Like at least the niggas around my way. Like they, you know what I mean? They don't I don't hear him say no goofy shit like, oh, he said this. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, okay, say there's a police incident, right? And the blacks are upset about it, right?
Yeah, the liberals. Yeah.
But there's one white conservative nobody ever heard of, but he's a white conservative. Or the news, CNN or MSNBC is telling you that he's a white conservative. And he said, oh, come on, we got bigger issues in America now to deal with. See, I told y'all they ain't care about y'all. You think the niggas not gonna be like looking at the white conservatives like, do y'all care about us?
Yeah, they'll turn back.
You crazy. You crazy. Them niggas will turn to their closest white conservatives like, you true, do you care about me?
Right. You're right.
And then they're gonna ruin they because remember they ruin. It's not necessarily like they try to ruin everything or they have a method to ruin. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the end result is that they ruin everything.
Right. Yeah, I could dig it. Yeah, exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, the end result. They don't even try. Yeah.
Yeah, they just ruin everything. Niggas ruin everything. So it's like now you got too many. I feel like you got too many blacks, and then think about black YouTubers who are now conservative, right?
Yeah.
The pressure that they're going to have on them of all the whack of answering to everything that conservatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's got to be like, well, this Scott Jennings said this, and Ricky Rubio said this, and such and such, and they gotta like they're gonna run out of gas, and they're gonna default to their settings, and they're not gonna be able to constantly keep being like, man, fuck all that shit. That shit ain't about nothing. It's gonna be a nigga get killed in their city or something.
Hey, yo, let me ask you, what do you think about the fact that, I mean, you probably already said something about this, but like, what do you think about the fact, like, what you just said is a bunch of black conservatives on YouTube and I thought so too, but the needle didn't move at all in the polls.
Yeah, we talked about that, remember? I've been saying that, man. Like, niggas was gonna vote 85% for Kamala.
But I'm saying, yeah, I mean, like with all these new fake, like the numbers didn't even move. Like I think part of it, I think a lot of dudes are scared of their women, and
definitely,
I heard a couple of dudes talking about they just want to keep the peace with the sisters.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Sick, that's sick, bro.
Without a doubt, definitely. So if there's a silent majority of black men, that means that some of those men went in the booth and still like on my way when me and my wife were in the parking lot of the voting precinct. That she know now I'm Ock Nation. I voted for Trump in 2016. We didn't vote in 2020 because COVID and we were moving and all this shit, right?
Yeah, and the baby, yeah.
But she knows me. I'm Ock Nation.
She's my wife. We're sitting in front of the fucking voting precinct on Tuesday morning before we were about to come to DC, drive to DC.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "You're really gonna do this?" And I'm like, "Are you?" So think about it. If I have to deal with it, I'm me.
Yeah.
Imagine with some simp ass dude that's never told his girl he voted for Trump.
he ain't never told her he subscribed to Ock Nation.
Right.
Ain't never shared a video with her.
Right. The pressure that he gotta go under, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, these niggas are soft, man. I was in a group chat. I heard some niggas say, "I'm just want to keep the peace with the." I was like, "You bitch ass nigga." If I lived somewhere where it would have mattered, I would have voted Trump. Like if I would have lived in the suburbs, like a county or something like that, where it wasn't 90% Democratic, I would
Yeah,
have.
there's no chance. But see,
no chance
I voted for Trump in 2016 when I lived in DC because you still got the reason I still vote that way. It's the reason it's still important to vote that way is because it, you know what I'm saying, it fucks up their little, you know what I mean, like their perfect score and shit.
Yeah.
It could be DC could literally go 100% for the Democrat.
Yeah, it really could. Yeah. DC is crazy. You know, it was this white dude here he's a Republican. He was going for Ward 8 councilman. You know, Trayon's fucked up.
Yeah, I remember you told me.
They still fucking voted for this Batman Trayon. But the white dude, he been living here for a while. I think at least since before the last election. And he just moved. I mean, he was still running, but he knew he was gonna lose. He moved up to Pennsylvania. I said, salute to you.
Yeah.
He said, fuck this liberal shit. He tried. I ain't gonna hold you. He put in work. But
and Pennsylvania went for Trump, but Philly went 88% for Kamala. All those gangster, I mean, like wicked gangster Muslims. These ain't just gangsters. These are gangster Muslims with nappy ass beards. All them niggas voted for fucking Kamala.
Which is nuts. Actually, nah, it's not actually if you think about it, because if they gonna let crime reign like the way it's been raining in Philly, I guess it makes sense. You don't want nobody coming talking about they gonna send the National Guard to your city. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but still, like, it's just like it was like you talked about masculinity. There's a certain type of like vibe that she was giving off, and there's a vibe he was getting off, and there was a zeitgeist in the air.
Yeah,
it was a current. Like I felt the current. Like she was giving off femininity, and he was giving off masculinity, and you could feel it within like the public discourse. Even like the black male public discourse that we talked about didn't change anything. It still was different. I was on YouTube in 2017 and in 2020, and these niggas was not talking the way they were talking this time.
Yeah, they got
These niggas was your favorite YouTuber was not talking like this.
Yeah,
I think red pill change is changing a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. And niggas ruined that.
Yep.
Niggas ruined red pill.
Yep.
Niggas ruined everything. So you have to understand that, like, we're just ruining us, right? So when you're ruining this, it's kind of like let's just say, right? Let me think of something. Think of something that would be hard to ruin, right? Something that's so good that it's like almost perfect. An institution or
social norm or something that's just just wonderful.
Like Rex Hunters.
Church? I don't know.
Okay, church. The black church. The black church, right? A bunch of faggots in the choir, right? Whole choir, director, lead singer, alto, falsetto, bass, everybody gay, right? Or women, right?
Yeah.
Nothing but a bunch of your church is made up of single women and gay men.
Strange.
How does that happen? How is the church full of single women and gay men?
That's because they're the ones with all the money for tithes.
And the pastor is either an ex-con or a con man.
Creflo Dollar.
Yeah, man.
Or he's a down low.
It's crazy, man. I just don't understand how these things happen. How you have you name something else.
Youth programs.
The military. I don't.
Okay, the military. Blacks are gang. They got gangs. Big gangs in the military now. Crips, Bloods, all the gangs are heavy in the military.
Damn, for real?
You didn't know that?
Ah, damn.
Oh, yeah. Ask anybody who's been in the military, man. The gangs are heavy in the military.
Wow.
And the blacks are not like offer some material. A lot of the blacks are
just infantry guys or whatever.
Yeah, they're not cut out for those upper positions. So now they complain about that. So it's racism, right? So now you gotta put them in positions that they're not qualified for. We ruin everything. We would ruin French fries, McDonald's French fries, man. We can ruin that shit, man. Give us enough time, man.
That's crazy.
Dang, man. I see there's some McDonald's I go to, some areas, and I don't even think it's safe to eat the food there, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Rax Green, man. Rax Green in the building. Make sure y'all take the $5 challenge. Support the channel, man. Been gone for a minute, man. We back in effect with a mask and a tech, man. But yeah, man, like think about the strip club. Think about how fun the strip club is. Like strip club, right? It's a strip club. A bunch of girls stripping. Yo, niggas make the strip club dangerous, Jack. Strip club be dangerous. Niggas make, even when it's not no shooting at the strip club, you go to the strip club and it's not a shooting there that night. But it's fraught with tension and you know what I'm saying? The specter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, yo, somebody got a joke, man. You can go to
right.
You know what I mean? You walk into your car after the strip club and shit, and you alerted. You know, I mean, you got to get patted down like a fucking TSA to get in this black strip club.
Right. Black anything for that matter.
Yeah, black anything, you got to get patted down, man. Black people make you take precautions that people over time get adjusted to, right? And just take it as normal. But if you remove black people you wouldn't need those precautions, man. People like metal detectors in schools and clear book bags and shit like that. And you know what I mean? Like fucking the extra time on the SAT and shit. Like all this shit that the 100 positive black men of such and such city. Why you need 100 black men to fucking mentor these young boys? Because that's what black people create. Black people create all these situations where you gotta fix them, or you gotta put in preemptive measures, or you gotta buffer up some shit that would normally already be taken care of.
Right.
In all these situations that they create, they just doing it. They just being themselves. Niggas ain't really like, think about it. The fact that you need violence interrupters. The fact that you need violence interrupters. You need that shit.
Yeah.
But you already got the police. But because the police be racist towards us, and we don't trust the police because they be. Yeah. So you need another agency, another thing, a buffer between them and the police.
To come give you presents so you don't shoot people.
Right.
And you already got the police. You need fucking 30 homicide detectives in your city.
Just nuts.
How the fuck you need 30 homicide detectives? And they're all overworked. And then, the mayor got to bring in the feds to help with the caseload. We're bringing in 50 federal investigators to help with the backlog in cases, murder cases. What? You got 30 homicide detectives. Fuck you doing?
Clearance rate is less than 25%.
Right. Like a city, you should need 2 homicide detectives.
Yeah, it should be like 1 or 2 murders a year, something like that.
What do you mean you got 30 homicide detectives and it still ain't enough?
Yeah, that's nuts.
If you think about how small, like the city of Philadelphia is not that big. If you have
it's 1.5 million. It's 1.5 million.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, but geographically, like if you've lived there, you drive up and down. It's big, but it's not that big,
Uh-huh.
And you think about how many murders, like just by like summertime, there will be. And if you just like map that out, it's like, man, around every one of these blocks, there's someone getting murdered basically every night, like almost. And obviously, some areas are worse than others. In some areas, it's like every other night within a 1 mile radius, someone's getting killed.
Yeah, no doubt. And the real toll of that is that, like, over the years. So, like, we say 600 people got murdered this year. No, but 600 people got murdered last year. 500 people got murdered the year before. And we're living like we're freshmen in high school. We're seniors. So from our freshman year to our senior year, 2,000 people have been murdered in our city in the streets. We know, let's just say we know 4, right? Know 4. Like, I'm not talking about like know of, but personally know 4. You know what I'm saying? Right? Of those 2,000, right? Yeah. You know 4 of those 2,000, right? But you know of like, oh, that was so and so cousin, or oh, that was daddy, or you know of 50, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you grow up and you stay in the city. Now it's 20 years later, and you know
30 people that have been murdered, and you know of 400. So many you can't even remember. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And some fucking white dude says you people, you're fucking offended and shit.
Yeah.
So white dude says all lives matter and you're fucking crying on YouTube.
Right. Talking about microaggressions and shit.
Yeah. and it's like we ruin everything, man. We ruin everything, man. We can't help it, man. Homecoming. We ruin porn.
Funeral.
The white porn be a whole storyline, like a motherfucking movie and shit. The milkman come to the door, the husband ain't home, or some shit, you know, or the fucking lawyer, the woman come in to divorce, to get a divorce, she come in the lawyer office and the lawyer tries to help with her case. Next thing you know, they fucking nigga. It's just two fucking people sitting on the couch. That's the opening scene. A nigga sitting on the couch with no shirt on, and a fucking bitch sitting on
she twerking.
Laying on him with a bikini, and that's the fucking begin. That's how the video start, and then they just start fucking and shit.
What do you
Yeah,
think
funerals, weddings,
everything? I wanted to ask you, the Trump winning white women, man. Were you shocked? I was shocked by that, and I couldn't believe
Nah,
it.
I wasn't shocked at all.
Yeah. That happened last time.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, didn't that happen last time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, Hillary couldn't get the white woman vote. It's just you know, white women know the deal, man. They know it's a dangerous world.
Yeah,
the world is dangerous, and white women have high IQs too.
Sons ruin that too, huh? They can't get them to vote.
One thing I'm noticing about white women, because especially being in Ann Arbor this week, it's my latest time being around white women. A lot of white women, because Ann Arbor's a lot of white women. Yeah, you know, I'm a man of the people. You know what I'm saying? White people always want to chat me up for some reason, man. I don't know what it is about me, but when I'm around white people, they always chat me up, right? So I've had several conversations with people this weekend. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about white women, man, they smarter than black chicks, man.
Right.
It just is what it is, man. They smarter, man, and they in that intelligence, I can see how it goes into relationships, right? Like if you smart, right, you'll not nag a motherfucker all the time.
Yeah.
You'll nag, but not all the time.
Right.
Or if you smart, you know what I'm saying, when your fucking husband going through some shit, you'll help him work him through it and help him through it and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if, you know what I'm saying?
Not beat him up anymore, not put him down any further.
Yeah, not put him down and shit and talk shit to him and shit. So it's like, but that don't seem like being smart. But when you're a woman, it's kind of like a guy. Like if a guy's smart, like he'll do certain things that women like.
Right.
Your smartness going to transcend in every aspect of life. Right.
Yeah.
You're not just going to be as smart. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could be book smart and not have no common sense, but generally, your intelligence going to express itself in other areas, in different areas, man.
Yeah.
And one thing about white women, I noticed, man, is that the only thing that makes them dumb, really, Like it's like that bonds us is that wokeness. The wokeness kind of like ties them to sisters.
Right.
Because it's kind of like when you dumb yourself down. The wokeness is like them dumbing themselves down. If white women was like just like on some Panther, Jaguar, Lioness type shit, we would be in trouble.
Yeah.
We would be in deep trouble because they wouldn't be putting up. They wouldn't let white men put up with all this shit. The reason white men put up with all this shit is because their woman is like they kind of like, you know, making them put up with all this shit.
True.
Men are a reflection of the women.
Yeah. You know, white women are like, oh honey, let them out of jail. Oh
Yeah.
honey, you know, give them some money for a new Rexton. Oh honey, you know,
Yeah.
let them get into the school without having the same test scores.
Yeah, that's facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's a woman. That's the woman doing that. The man, the white man, wouldn't do that shit. All the shit we got, as much as, and then here's the thing. Right now, who's being vilified right now? White women. White women didn't vote for Kamala. Liberals. What are black women doing now? Vilifying white women.
Yep.
That's what all the videos online is. Talking shit about white women. When, bitch, you understand? Most of y'all literally take WIC, TANF, and Section 8 for granted. In Southeast where you live, a bitch will be on WIC, TANF, Section 8, rental assistance, and will literally shoulders back, chin up, straight look in your face and say, I'm doing this all by myself because she ain't got no man. The fact that she's single, she'll tell people I'm doing this all by myself.
Right.
And that bitch is on like 18 different programs.
Imagine
maximum level.
But the fact that she's single or the nigga in jail or whatever, I'm doing this all by myself.
It's a spiritual thing now. It's like I don't need a man. It's like that's like me proving up my worthiness or something.
Right.
Yeah, man. They ruined feminism. Feminism, black women, they ruined feminism. Black women ruined feminism. They took it to like fucking. They took it. They did what niggas do. They did what niggas do. They did the same thing niggas did with music. We created hip hop. We took it to the ugly. We made it ugly and dark.
Yeah, absolutely. Demonic.
Yeah, we made it demonic. They did the same thing with feminism. They made feminism demonic. Kill the babies. Get rid of the men.
Destroy the nuclear family.
Yeah. They did that, and they did that. Their best friend is a homo. Their fucking baby daddy is dead, murdered, and their kid is fucking what's it called, like remedial and shit in school and shit.
And got the nerve to complain.
Kid is remedial and shit. The kid can't fucking read and shit.
But he got Jordan.
Right. And he's running around professing how great of a mom she is.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
Yeah, man. They ruined feminism, man. They ruined everything, man. We ruined goddamn what's that shit? Um colonialism and shit. We ruined that shit. The motherfuckers came over there, built us all these state-of-the-art cities and shit, and then just left. And just up and left. It was like, all right, you can keep all that shit. Think about it. They could have said, man, y'all don't want us here. We destroying all this shit before we leave. They left all that shit. Go to any one of them African countries. The same shit just broke down. The same shit the white man left, just broke down and dilapidated is what you gonna find.
Right.
And I hate to talk shit about niggas like this, but I just feel that they're gonna ruin the Republican conservative movement. I feel like they're gonna ruin that shit, man.
Don't you
Yeah,
think
but
there's
you know
already
what? I've been telling Negroes, I was like, yo, when Trump was president the first time, I have never seen so many Negroes want to be black in my life. The uptick of consciousness and black businesses, black banks. I was like, I don't know why y'all niggas don't vote for him. Like, we need racism. It fuels us. It gives us energy. I don't know what it does. I mean, I don't know. So hopefully that's what we do. Hopefully they get all scared into like taking care of their children and shit like that. Because it ain't the white zaddy's not around to do it for them no more.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. In order for because we kind of like force you to take care of us, right?
Yeah.
So like, because we so needy, right? We're so it's like we're gonna kind of like those of us that are conservative, we're gonna basically kind of like ask for a hand up in something. We're gonna ask for give us something. Was there something for us? Can we have something especially for us, or can you do something for us? We got so many problems.
Right.
You think that the black male conservatives ain't gonna get together and say we need an agenda for the inner city? We need an agenda for this, and all that's gonna turn into over the years. At first, it's gonna be like, yeah, give us something so we can go back and fix our communities.
Right.
But your communities can't be fixed.
Right.
So now you got a fucking money pit. And you got fucking conservatives fucking throwing money into that pit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Every year. Now you're not being conservative anymore because you're throwing money into a pit.
Right. I hope it don't happen like that. That's why I hope like that big government I hope it just gets shrunk. You know what I'm saying? Like they were talking about the getting rid of the Department of Education. That's not a terrible idea. You know what I mean?
That's a
Build
great
your own
idea.
schools. Yeah.
Really
I like it. And I got a lot of teacher friends and they're all like got their panties in a bunch. But I'm like, man, these parents need to teach their own damn kids for starters.
Public schooling is a way to allow women to enter in the workforce and abandon their duty. Like men think about it like, how can we afford to live off one income without and have children without public school? But they forget like that was easily doable before like women like left the home and entered the workforce in the first place. And they can't leave the workforce now because
it's expensive.
You can't make enough money. So like
Yeah.
just get rid because there's too many taxes. You got to pay for the schools, got to pay for this, that. Just get rid of all of it. And you would be surprised how much wages would go up. And then women could stay home and actually teach the kids again, raise the kids.
But a lot of them aren't even equipped to do that shit these
days.
They're just not. Yeah.
Nah, and the patience it takes. You know what? We were thinking about homeschooling our daughter. Yeah, it's easier said than done. It's
Yeah, the
easier said
logistics.
than done.
Yeah, the logistics are really hard because my youngest son's mom, she is a teacher, and we tried to like talk it, figure it out. It's just like, nah, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but do you
It's
think
not
they're
the
really
good.
learning that much at public school though? Like, I don't know, man. Like I know they learn how to read and write and stuff like that. I think like basic math, reading and writing, that's pretty much the gist of what you get from public school now. So like that, I think most people could teach their kids to do that. Like,
Well, yeah, you talking about, yeah, that's up to 5, 6 years old, but it's like the structured learning, and then there's meeting certain goals
yeah,
and
so throw that
competency.
out. Just throw that shit out. You don't have to meet anything. Just teach your kid what you think they need. That's it.
Oh nah.
Yeah,
The
nah,
thing
there's got to be some
when
standard.
he gets rid of the Department of Education, he's gonna replace it with something. It's not like he's gonna get rid of it. He's
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
replace it with something. It ain't just gonna be like, all right, now everybody just
Do
there's no
whatever.
more public
But
school. It's gonna
the
be
states are still gonna have, the states are still gonna have goals and metrics and stuff. That's not gonna take away from that, and
yeah.
they'll just be in more control,
Yeah.
which is actually good because some of that stuff they get from the federal level, that Common Core math shit. Wait till your daughter gets in that shit. That shit is goofy. Like they're not even teaching them like, 3 + 3, like where you just put up 3 fingers and put 3. Like they teaching them to draw retarded pictures and like
Oh man.
you can't even help them with their homework no more. Like, what the fuck is this? So I hope hopefully the states will do better. We'll see. All right, Doc, you fading?
Yeah, man. I'm you know what? I'm proud of myself. I didn't fall asleep once this episode, man. It's like the first time in a month I didn't fall asleep.
Oh damn, for real? It's been like that?
Oh yeah, I fell asleep almost every night, like multiple times. Multiple times.
Hey, but
I don't
salute.
think it's been one show I haven't fallen asleep with since my daughter was started going to sleep.
Oh,
So yeah. So I mean, I'm proud of myself. We 3 hours in. Yeah, I think it might be. I think I might have to rest on my laurels, man.
Right.
Come back at y'all tomorrow, man. Yeah, this is a good show though. Come back at y'all tomorrow, man, with some some more fire, man. Any final thoughts, man, guys? Anybody got any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, just yeah, salute to you, Og, man. Keep up the good work, man. You've been consistent and thorough, man. Much respect.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace.
All right, night, guys.